What's going on, everybody? This is Al from NCAA 06 Revival. And in the last video, we went through all of our off-season shenanigans, our recruiting, our position changes, depth chart, what have you. All that was great. I'm excited about the recruiting class that's coming in. Brought in 22 kids. Several of them are going to play for us right away. Several others that are really talented don't have to. We can redshirt some of them, and we'll look at that here in a little bit. And today we're going to go through all of our preseason shenanigans to get us ready for our second season. Let's start off with our custom schedule. Now, last season I mentioned over the course of that time about my rivals that SMU has. It's Rice and TCU. Rice is already on our schedule. They are in our division. Nothing we can do about that. They're going to stay there. But we're going to add TCU. Now, I'm just kind of looking here. I want to schedule a really tough team out of the gate. Or we're going to have a top 10 like we done with Texas Tech. Or last year we done with Texas. I don't mind leaving Texas Tech as is. I want to change this to TCU. Now, I noticed here, I got 11 game schedule. Last season, we had 12, but I didn't need to do that Sam Houston State game. Ended up being a waste, more or less. Ended up not being able to bring anybody to recruit, but it looks like here they're not going to let me remove anybody. I have to play somebody off this small list right here. Because if I try to remove it, SMU cannot go below 11 scheduled games. Okay, well, if I added a game here, we can add Air Force. You would think it would let me delete Maryland. It's not going to let me. So I'm going to go back. We're going to take Akron off. So I got to schedule somebody from this list. And what I'm going to use, I'm going to go with probably Louisiana Monroe. The rest of them are very far off, and I need another small home game. This is right in the heart of my recruiting schedule. Week 9. Having them as a home game, they're local. I want to recruit Louisiana to begin with. That just makes sense to schedule them. I'm going to leave that as open. No point of scheduling anybody there. So I'm okay with that schedule. That's 11 teams. Like I said, I'm not going to do 12. There's no point. I give the schedule a tough, really tough team out of the gate, on the road. And I'm going to do TCU at home. I always like to have at least one home game more than one away game. I think that's realistic. That's what everybody else does. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, the rest of them are away. So 6 home, 5 away. I'm good with that schedule, so we're going to keep it. Okay, redshirting players. This gives us another chance to look at our roster a little bit more in detail compared to what we've done in the last video. We'll start off at quarterback. It's going to be kind of a tight race. We're going to run triple option, obviously, so I need some speed here. Now, Willis is the redshirt freshman from last year. He's got the speed, the better speed of the bunch. We got 2 true freshmen, and then we got Phillips, who can't run to save his life. 72 is okay, but it's not good enough. I don't care about awareness. That's the only reason why Phillips is as high as he is, because he's got 68 awareness. You are the awareness as a quarterback, so don't really pay too much attention about the awareness. Willis is going to be my starter. His speed, I got to use it. Plus, this gives me a chance to redshirt these 2 guys. I don't think I'll need him. So Willis will be my starter. Phillips will back up for me. If Willis gets hurt for a significant period of time, then I'll burn a redshirt off of one of these 2 freshmen. Until then, I won't need to. So I'm going to redshirt these 2. We may get lucky and Willis doesn't get hurt, and he can ride out the entire season and do well for us. That'd be nice. We'll break down the depth chart a little bit later. Okay, A-back. Got a lot of players here, a lot of bodies. What I'm excited about is, of course, Dorsey's going to be our main guy. We got 2 true freshmen, Harrison and Walton. We got another freshman, Williams. And then we got our 2 little skinny B-backs that we converted to A-backs. That was great. Both of them were in the 50s at B-back. Now they're 70 and 68 respectively at A-back. I can't wait to see what they can do on the field. They've already redshirted, so I can't do nothing about that. So I'm going to redshirt 2 of these 3 freshmen. And I'm going to redshirt Harrison, and I'm going to redshirt Williams. Walton has the speed. I'm going to use that 98 speed. He's the fastest player on the team by far. He's going to play special teams for me. And he's going to play a lot of A-back, obviously. So he's my number 2 A-back. Then I got these 2 guys backing up. So I really like the depth at A-back. What this means is I'm going to run a little more flex mode normal. A lot of 3-back sets. I'm actually going to just use 1, but we'll look at my playbook here in a little bit. So Walton will be backing up with Dorsey and those two other guys will back up those two guys. So I actually have some depth here, which means I got a little bit of depth at B-back. Martin and Massey moved over to B-back. This means I don't have to use the sub package anymore. I can just let everything as is. I'm really excited to see what Martin can do at B-back full-time there. It's going to be pretty good. So I'm really excited about what I see here. And if for whatever reason these guys get injured, you can always use the twin halfback sub package and use a lot of these guys for that purpose. Wide receiver, Bobby Chase, best player in the country. At least in our hearts he is. Nothing's going to change here. Foster was a senior. He graduated. It's a big drop-off after these three guys. After Cleveland, Pellerin, it's just a bunch of guys who ain't going to do a whole lot for us, at least on offense this year. So I'm not going to redshirt Chase or Pellerin. So I'm going to leave everything as is. Tight end, this is a good situation for us. It's not a very important position. I mean, it's important. They block for us and everything. But I got depth here to where I don't have to recruit this position too hard. I got three guys here, all of them with the type of bodies that I need. Big, strong uglies who can block. We're good there. Tackle. A senior and a senior, they're going to be my starters, and then we got backups for them. I'm going to redshirt the true freshman, Holman, and we're going to have backups behind these two starters. So that's a good situation. This freshman don't have to play much this year. I'm always in favor of that. Guard. This is a little bit different. Pavito is definitely going to be my left guard. My right guard is going to be one of these three guys. Probably Myrick or Bourne. Now, here's my thinking. I need strength, and size, and some strength at guard. Myrick is probably going to start for me because look at his strength. It's 90 over this guy's 80. His awareness isn't as good. That's obvious because he's a true freshman. His run blocking is much better. I need somebody who can push. So I'm not going to redshirt him. He will be my starter. Bourne will back up for him. And Lobo can back up for Pavito. I got a true freshman here that I can redshirt. We won't need him this year. And we're set there. Center. Three-way tie. Who do you play? I'm probably going to stick with Turner. He's got the same strength as Morris. I could start the true freshman, but awareness is a big drop-off. Look at that. 18-point spread. So I'm going to definitely start Turner, which means I'm going to redshirt Morris. Pointer can back up him. Turner and Pointer are juniors, so that gives Morris ample time to get ready here in a couple seasons to be my starter. The odds of me finding somebody else better than Morris are high. I'm sure I'll get somebody who's like a 74 or 76 out of the gate. But we don't have him yet, so we got to, stick with what we have now. So we'll redshirt Morris. Defensive end, we're kind of deep here. We really lucked out in recruiting. This is probably the best work I've done here at this position. Justin Rogers come back, had a great season last year. But we got a true freshman, Brandon Brantley. He was the two-star athlete. I converted the defensive end, and look what he's at 84. Just incredible. He's going to be my starter at left end for now. What I'm thinking, I think I'm going to switch these twos out. Normally, I'd rather have a stronger, bigger defensive end at left end than the other way around. Yes, the CPU will flip their formations from time to time, but more often than not, they'll keep them as is. It's not a big deal if you don't switch them out that way, because you can't control what the offense does and how they're going to flip their formations. But Brantley's going to start. Muse is going to back up one of the two, I guess Brantley. Palmer, the other true freshman, another great pickup. Great size, great speed, and he's a true defensive end, which is hard to find, and he was only a 3-star. But I don't need him this year. We got some depth. We got Bay, who's a senior, who's equally as good, more or less. That'll back up as well. So this is a great situation here all around. I like the depth here. And what's even better is Brantley and Palmer will be my bookend defensive ends for the next 3 years, which means I don't have to move down a linebacker of any sort. We just lucked out there. Now, this position worries me a little bit. We got two pretty decent guys for our conference, but it's a huge drop-off after that. So, needless to say, defensive tackle is a major priority for us this season. We're not going to redshirt either one, obviously, so we're going to leave all that as is. Outside linebacker, this is going to be interesting. We pretty much got a four-way tie. Who's going to start? Cox will definitely start. I love his awareness. They all have about the same speed, but his awareness is great, and so is McCrae's. I'm not going to redshirt any of them because I like to have backups behind them, because on defense, you get more substitutions than you would on offense. So these guys are going to sub in and out all the time. So whoever starts will probably be Cox and McCray. I'll have the true freshmen back up those two. And maybe at halftime I may switch them around or something. I don't know. I haven't really made up my mind, but I'm not going to redshirt any of them. Middle linebacker, I'm going to redshirt a couple here. Now, with these many middle linebackers, you think I could run some 4-4. But I'm not going to. I like my safeties, and we'll look at those here in a minute. But I'm going to redshirt a couple of these guys. I'm going to redshirt these two guys in the middle. Now, obviously, Carrington doesn't have the speed of these three guys, but he's an impact player. He's got to play a ton. And his awareness is great compared to the three freshmen. So we'll redshirt these two guys, and we'll have West back up Carrington. Corner, another great position. I picked up a couple freshmen that don't have to play a whole lot this year. Humphrey and Lindley came back. They played great for us last year, especially Lindley. Bowman, super excited about this kid, true freshman. I love his size. I love his speed. But we have depth, and I won't need him this year. We're going to redshirt him. Fitzgerald, a senior. He'll be my nickel back this year. Behind him, Sam Hancock. That was the other two-star athlete I picked up. That we have depth. I mean, we've got a guy behind him that's 68 to a 70. He's just not going to play a whole lot this year, so we can redshirt him. And you know me, I rarely go beyond nickel. I rarely play dime. I could play dime this year if I wanted to. Now, we got more depth at corner than we do at outside linebacker, but these corners can't tackle all that well. Most of them just are not meant to be great tacklers. So I'm going to play a lot more nickel than probably 4-3, but I'm still going to play some 4-3, just depending on which offense I'm going up against. But thankfully, we get to redshirt a couple of these guys. And I'm definitely going to play quite a bit of nickel. So, Humphrey, Lindley, and Fitzgerald are going to get a lot of playing time this year, obviously. Free safety, another good position where I have a freshman that I don't have to play much this year. Good came back. He's a senior. I'm sure he'll play well for me this year. He's got McKinday backing him up. Strong safety. He's going to be a true freshman that's going to play all year for us, as long as he stays healthy. Great pickup, arguably our most important pickup, if I had to guess, in Joe Busing. We needed some help there, and we got him. That's great. Moving on. Another great situation at both kickers. The kicker and the punter, we got exactly one for each. They're going to be my starters for the next 4 years. By the time they're done, they'll probably both be maybe in the low 90s. So great pickups for our level in our conference. So just looking back here, 2, 4, 6, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 guys we're going to get the red shirt. That's great. So with that being said, let's go to our depth chart and get this situated. Again, we're going to start Willis. He's got the speed. Phillips will back him up. If Willis gets hurt significantly, we can plug in one of those other freshmen. Halfback, A-back, Dorsey, Walton, a true freshman. Look at that speed. I can't wait to use him. Super excited about that kid. Put him out on the pitch, man. Whew. He's going to get some first downs for us, hopefully. Our other two A-backs, Turner and Henderson. Super excited about these two guys. I actually got a little bit of depth on offense to where some of these guys can plug in. I mean, if Walton goes down, it's not a big drop-off with these two guys. So I'm super thankful that I moved those two guys over. Going to get some use out of them. And both of them are junior and a sophomore. That's great. So they'll be around for a couple more years. B-back, Martin Massey. We're good there. Wide receiver, we're going to move Chase to B-back. Or Z. Pellerin is X. Chase is Z. Z gets open in the wide receiver option plays. Cleveland is our pure slot. Warren and Hawkins. Let's do Hawkins and Warren. It doesn't really matter at this point. Don't know how much those backups are going to play. I like what we're seeing here. And the reason I'm playing Pellerin over Cleveland because we run a lot of two wide receiver sets, and I need bigger wide receivers to block for us. And it's obvious Pellerin is bigger than Cleveland. He's stronger than Cleveland. It just makes sense to have him start. Tight end, we're good here. Tackle, 80, 70, yes. Guard, we're going to have Pavito, Boren, and I'm going to do center. Who's going to be Turner? Yes, Turner's going to be my starter at center. Myrick and my other guard. Where's he at? Lobo. Lobo will back up Myrick. That's what I want there. Right tackle, Johnson, and Burley's going to back him up. Just make sure. Yes. So those are my 10 linemen. They're going to play. Defensive end, we're going to put Muse here. I'm going to put Rogers or Brantley at right end, just so he can get off the edge, probably a little bit more than usual, off or under front. And we're going to put Bay and Rogers and Muse. 6'3", 243, 6'5", 237, 78, 76. I need to move them. That's correct. Muse is stronger. Yes, that's correct. That's what I want. I want the quicker guys at right end. So maybe the offseason I may switch Brantley around to right end. That's just something I forgot to do, but that's okay. It doesn't really affect us here. We can always make that adjustment. Defensive tackle, that's good there. We got to pray that these two guys don't get injured. These are the last two guys we need injured this year. Everybody else, we don't want anybody hurt, but these two guys definitely need to stay healthy. Outside linebacker, I want Cox at outside linebacker. His backup, who will be his backup? I got McCray there. Gosh, West can play. Wow. Looks like West is going to play right outside linebacker. He could do either one. I want Cox has got the better awareness than McCray does. Yes, so let's do West and McCray. And let's do Robinson here. West is going to play a whole lot more than I thought. He could play outside linebacker. So what I need to do in the offseason is really pay attention to my linebackers, both outside and middle, and switch them around and see where some of these guys may need to go. Because it's obvious West tends to be a little bit better as an outside linebacker than an inside linebacker. So that's good to see. I may have him play some nickel just because of his speed. So he may be my other linebacker during my nickel package. Okay, corner. Those three, correct. I'm going to move this. I need a corner here. Blackman and Haynes. Lindsey, Humphrey, yes. I'm okay with that because Lindley needs to play the whole time because he's just a playmaker. He just done so well for me last season. Okay, free safety, I like that. Strong safety, yes. Kicker, yes. Punter, yes. Here, I need pure speed. Chase is not going to be on special teams for us anymore. We don't need him to. We got too much speed to use. I want Walton. I want Warren. He's like a 6-string wide receiver. Really small, but super quick. So we're going to get some use out of him at least a little bit. And we're going to put in Henderson. That's my other A-back. Little skinny fullback that we had that moved over. So Walton, Warren, Henderson. Walton, Warren, Henderson. Okay, kickoffs. I think the kicker's got the better leg. Kick power and accuracy, yeah, he's got the better leg. So we leave that as is. I need my long snapper. Let's put our backup center and then our starting center. And that's it for the depth chart. Let's go to program standards. We're still below half. We used 20% of our points on our discipline. So that should be enough to keep us out of the hole or get us any big trouble unless we get very unlucky with players getting in bad trouble all season. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Let's check our captains. It's all based off awareness and seniority. Looks like Guidry is a captain and on offense, and my guess is Rogers is the other captain, and he is. Which is fine. Doesn't really make a difference. Okay, let's go to Athlon Sports. Preseason polls. Let's see if they got us in the 40s or 50s. 43. Pretty cool. That's what you get for winning a bunch. You get moved up and get notarized a little bit. Nothing's really changed roster talent-wise. We just replaced a bunch of seniors with some freshmen, and everything kind of stayed the same. If I remember correctly, last season we were a C-minus offense and pretty good on defense. So I don't think nothing's really changed here, except this will get better going forward. Heisman watch, Bobby Chase better be on here, and he is. When you put up the numbers as he did, receiving 1,700 yards, 800 yards, I mean, that's 2,500 yards of offense. And all the stuff he done on special teams. And he's not even going to be on special teams this year. But he's going to do a ton everywhere else. He's going to get the ball a lot this year. If he can stay healthy, we may win the Heisman with him, which would be insane coming off a triple option offense. Just crazy. Preseason All-Americans. Bobby Chase, that's expected. I don't expect anybody else to be an All-American off our team. No. Okay, let's go to Conference USA. First team, Bobby Chase. Lindley. Second team, nobody. That'll change. Postseason, we'll add like 6-7 more guys on here. Conference outlook. They have us second in the conference, behind UTEP. We took care of business on UTEP last year. Hopefully we can do the same this year. This ain't going to show much. This actually fills out a whole lot more once you get the season going. Okay. We are done with everything except for recruiting. Okay. Let's look at our roster a little bit. Priority, obviously, is defensive tackle. Outside linebacker, I'm going to try to find some speed here if I can. If I can find a 3-star guy that's got like a 4 or 5 something, I'm going to go after him. But those middle linebackers that I'm redshirting, a couple of them may move over to outside linebacker next year. So that's not a huge deal if I can't find the outside linebacker I need in the regular season. Defensive tackle is a priority. I'd love to pick up a better tackle. We only got 3 coming back next year, and the one that I picked up in the offseason ain't going to play much for a couple years anyways. We got a lot of beef at guard, but if I can find a legit guard, I wouldn't mind getting one of them. The rest of it is kind of ho-hum. It's kind of whatever you need. That last recruiting class really helped with depth, which means I can get real picky everywhere else. I'm not going to really go after a quarterback. I like the depth we have there. Unless I find a local kid that runs like a 4.48, then I may need to give him a look. We're good at A-back. I love the depth. We're young at A-back. B-back, with this offense, you got to give it a little bit more patience because you got to recruit halfbacks to convert to fullbacks, and that takes an extra year to do so, which means you have to plan ahead. So I'm going to look for pure power B-backs in the halfback pool, get them red-shirted next year so they can play B-back the year after that. So we're looking at fullback, wide receiver. I'm going to look for a couple guys that are humongous. I need size and strength there. Go after a couple there. I didn't need to the last offseason. There was no need. I had so many guys coming back, and I had more recruiting needs everywhere else. So I'm thinking B-back, wide receiver, tackle, defensive tackle, outside linebacker, and that'll probably be it. So let's look at, I don't think we have any other pipelines outside of just Texas. I could be wrong. We'll look. I want to make Louisiana a pipeline. They're real close. A lot of talent comes out of the Bayou State. Want to go after some guys there if I can't find anybody out of Texas. I also want to make Oklahoma a pipeline. I don't think they are yet. A decent amount of talent comes out of Oklahoma. So if I can't find somebody out of Texas, I'm going to look at Oklahoma as well. The rest of them, I don't really care. I'd love to get somebody out of Tennessee just because I'm a Tennessee guy. Some of these guys, Powhatan, that's not far from where I live. Just looking at Laverne, Murfreesboro, Seymour. Looking at some of these cities. Texas, majority of our players are going to come from here. Just looking to make sure we didn't have any other pipelines I didn't know about. And Canada is not a pipeline state. Oh, well. Okay, let's go to Texas. Let's just see what they got here. I'm not worried about quarterback. 4.69 is not fast enough. B-back, I need somebody who runs like a 4.2 something to give him a chance. But we got to look at some B-backs. Now, let's look right here. Bench and squat. I don't remember which one is your break tackle. I think it's squat. maybe that's strength. I think bench press may be your break tackle. So this kid right here would be great, but he's a 4-star. I'm not going after 4-star kids. So let's wait a little bit. Fullback, no. Wide receiver, we got a ton of kids here. Here are 2 3-star guys. 6'1". Neither one's very big. Like this kid right here would be great. Oh, well, he's got good squat. None of these guys are very big, so it looks like we're not going to get a receiver from here. Tight end, I'm not worried about. Tackle, we need the big uglies if we can. 470, 665, 6'3", 290, 6'3", 300. We'll wait a little bit on that one because we can still look into Louisiana and Oklahoma if we need to. Guard, that kid is really strong. 5'15", 665, 6'6", 344. That kid's humongous. Recruiting you, son. Travis Moses. That's the perfect guard right there. And he's only a 3-star kid. Why is he not a 4 or better? Look how monstrous he is. Man, we got to get that kid. Ooh, can you imagine him pushing those defensive tackles around? Ooh, that gets me excited. Okay, 4-star centers, we're not going to go after them. Defensive ends, we don't need to. Although this kid right here would look really good. He's a 4-star. That kid's really fast too. Defensive tackle, 3-star. We got to go after at least this kid. He's not the strongest, but we need some bodies. So let's just go ahead. He's a 3-star. Let's go ahead and recruit him. Outside linebacker, 4.52. These are great. James Goolsby. This guy is much stronger. Much, much stronger. But he has no awareness to him whatsoever. And awareness is huge for me. The kid's not very smart. He's a pure athlete. Can't do squat. This kid can. So let's scout him. And he's a good size for an outside linebacker. I need a guy who's got tons of speed. Let's do that for now. Middle linebacker, don't have to. Corner, not worried about the rest. Okay, let's go to Louisiana. I got 9 scholarships to give, so we're good to go. 507, not worried about that. 424. A-back, I don't care about his awareness. You can't teach that 424. Here's a 3-star kid, power. 380, 605. Golly, 605 pounds. We got to... where's my notepad? I need kind of... I'm going to go after both of these two for right now. That's a strong dude right there. His bench actually isn't all that great. If you go back, 380. That's the only thing that kind of worries me. I think that's the break tackle. No, it's better than any of these other guys. So, yes, let's recruit him, definitely. And Thomas, 424. I mean, it's just obvious. We got to get a guy like that. Wide receiver, we got to find a big ugly. Here's a 3-star, 6'5", 207. He's still not the strongest. Like, this kid right here would be sick. That's a perfect receiver for me. But he's a 4-star, and I'm not going to go after him. We'll wait on this kid for right now. We'll go back a little bit later. Tackle, 6'7", 325, 455, 640. We'll probably go after him. Defensive tackle, 3-star. He's a pass rusher, but we still need some... He's not very strong, but we need a body there. So let's just go ahead and put him on there. I still got several scholarships to give out. I'm not worried about the rest of these. I got youth at corner and everywhere else, or in my secondary. Middle linebacker, we're good there. Let's go to Oklahoma. See if we can get somebody from there. Speed, 439 is pretty good speed, but he's got some strength to him, though. 520. 305, 520. I may have to go to look at all the halfbacks here in a minute. 6'6", 207, 415 on the squat. We'll check all the wide receivers here in a little bit. I'm not ready to go ahead and give him a scholarship yet. Defensive tackle, 4-star. I'm not going to bother 4-star. Okay, now let's go to wide receivers. There's no other state I really want to make a pipeline. I want Oklahoma and Louisiana. I don't want Arkansas. There's not a lot of talent that comes from Arkansas. I mean, we can look here. I just don't think it's worth the effort to get somebody from Arkansas. So there's just not a whole lot of talent. I mean, We could probably plug in a guy or find somebody, but I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it. So let's go to all states, and let's go to wide receivers. I need to compare the squads and the benches. 470 is the biggest squad I've seen so far, and 285. 325, 470 is about the biggest so far. Now we're getting down into, man, there's a lot of 4-star receivers. Okay, skinny. Like this kid right here out of Arizona. That's ideal. Man, I'm going to recruit this kid. 6'2", 225, 305, 470 on the squat. And that's not too far away, so I don't mind recruiting him. Here's the Oklahoma kid. I may go after him. 415 on the squat. 285. Here's another pretty good one out of Louisiana. Here's another one out of Florida. Of course, I'm not going to go after him. 350s on these guys. Here's like 265, 350, but $285, 415 Oklahoma. Let's go after him. And I thought I had another. This kid right here. No, where's the other Texas kid? I may have already passed him up. This kid right here, 265, 350. That's just not big enough. So that's 2 receivers we're going after, which is fine. I still got 3 scholarships to give. Defensive tackle, we're going after 2 of them. Let's look at the A-backs. Well, halfbacks. Let's go to the halfbacks and let's see if we can find somebody we may have missed. Let's go down to the 3 stars. Maryland, Texas, the 325, 550. He's balanced. That's pretty good size or strength. The 605, we had to go after that kid. He was just too strong. 380, 605. So you got to think about 600 pounds on the squat and close to 400. So think, if you need a B-back, a fullback, do you expect to run between the tackles a lot? Think 400, 600. That's about, if you can get close to that, you're doing good. So that kid's out of New Jersey. I'd love to go after him, but he's just too far away. This kid here, oh, that's the same guy, isn't it? Maybe I got, 2 New Jersey guys. Wow. So 400, 605. That kind of gives us an idea. Scott Hall, pretty close. I may recruit him. Let's just go ahead and do it. I got a couple scholarships to give anyways. Kid out of Michigan. Kentucky. Okay, so that's 3 of the B-backs. Now let's look at the pure speed. We may try to go after another B-back. No, we don't need them that badly. We got some depth at B-backs. Let me just look at wherever else. Let's look at, I'm going after 1 tackle, 1 guard, 2 defensive tackles. Let's go defensive tackles. Let's go down to the 3 stars. $605. Let's go. $620 is pretty big. See that I can't go after that. That kid's really small. I need some beef right there. He is well undersized and he's not very strong. So I'm gonna take it off of him. That doesn't leave me with much to work with, though, is it? California, Texas kid, but he's the 4-star. I'm not going to go after a 4-star. So I may have no choice. We may have to go back and just put that on him just for this Louisiana kid. We may have no choice. He's the smallest defensive tackle of the bunch, but we need some bodies there. Maybe he's like a 70 overall. It's a whole lot better than what we have. That still gives me 2 scholarships to give. I'm already going after 2 receivers that I really like. Tackle or tight end, not worried about. Defensive end, not worried about. Middle linebacker. Let's go after another outside linebacker, probably. Or maybe corner. Let's go back to our corners. If we can find somebody like super tall. I'm talking like 3-star, 6'5", or something. Maybe worth going after. And as a pipeline, or close to one. North Dakota, Colorado, Minnesota. Because I didn't look at the corners all that hard when we went through these for the first time. Louisiana, 6-footer. Not much for the corners. Nobody that's roughly close. Illinois, Colorado, Minnesota, Illinois. Jefferson's a 4-star kid, so I'm not going to bother with that. Let's go to my roster. Unless I'm missing something. Do I need to find somebody that make a play? Senior. Okay, I don't know if Wiggins... Can we find somebody better than Wiggins in regular season? Probably not. I don't know. Couldn't find the corners, but we're really good here. We're just young here. Another outside linebacker. Let's just go ahead and do that. See if we can find a speedster. I got 2 scholarships to give. I'm only going after just one outside linebacker. Let's try to find a couple more. Let's go back up to here. South Dakota, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Illinois, Washington, Illinois, North Carolina, Idaho. Not much on the outside linebackers. Now, who would recruit that kid? 6'4", 226, runs a 4.73. Not going to go after that. Defensive end. Let's go quarterback. We may find somebody that's like super fast or something. I wish you could sort these. But you can't sort by squat or any other of these. You have to just go through them all at once. PA, Texas kid. Nope, ain't going to do it. Another Texas kid, not fast enough. This is taking a little longer than I thought, but I just want to try to maximize my slots if I can. California, Alabama, Ohio, Oklahoma. 4.78, that's just not fast enough. Let me go back to A-back. Find a 3-star kid that's super fast. We've already went through our B-backs. We found some Missouri, Florida. Loving this kid. I love to get that kid. Now, I really want that Arizona kid. I mean, he's on here somewhere. That's the kid from New Jersey. Scott Hall, we're going to go after him. He's a local kid, but he's got the size. I mean, he's a little, in terms of his strength, it's not as good as a couple of those other ones, but it's, I mean, technically good enough. Well, I thought I went after that Arizona kid wherever he's at. Maybe he's the wide receiver that I was going after. Maybe that's what that was. I already forgot. There's so many of these kids, it's hard to keep up with anymore. That kid right there, yeah, 305, 470. Jeez, yeah. Either way, 400 pound on the squat plus, good close around 300. You're doing good there. So let me go back to A-back real quick. There was another 4.24 kid somewhere. Missouri, Florida. I think I'm done with the B-backs. I couldn't find anybody else that had the strength that I needed. This kid would be, but he's from Michigan. 4.31's pretty fast, but he's Ohio. California. And that's it for B-back. I couldn't find a quarterback. Receiver, we went through the ones who we kind of wanted. Let's go after another tackle, another guard if we can find one. Still like to have some more depth here, especially a tackle. Let me go back up to the 3 stars. I'm thinking 700, 500 is like a great. So 470, 655. California. Virginia, Colorado, Arizona. A couple Arizona skid. This kid would be pretty good. 6'5", 336. I wouldn't mind turning that to a pipeline state, to be honest. That's close enough. Let's go after him. I love his size. And it seems to be stronger than most of them, so that's good. Another guard. We're just going after one guard. Let's go after another guard. Go down to the 3 stars. We're thinking 500, 700, if we can get somewhere around there. But we got to look at where they're located. New Jersey, PA, and that's kind of it. There's just not much else out there. So let's, oops, didn't mean to do that. What else am I missing? Defensive tackle. We couldn't find anybody else that roughly fit what we was looking for that was close. Outside linebacker, I like where we're at, a strong safety. I wish you could recruit athletes. We've done the receiver. Let's go after a tight end. Find a real big ugly. We'll fill out that last spot. Let's go back up to the 3. There we go. So 500, 400, and 500. Let's see if we can find somebody that's roughly close. 380, 535 is pretty strong. I may have to go after him. He's a local kid. For Utah. Yes, that's the ideal guy we need to go after. Tom Thompson. Alright, that's all of them. So we've done everything. Let's simulate this week, and then we'll redistribute our recruiting points, and then I'll let you go. So that first game out of the gate is going to be tough. At Texas Tech, I have no expectations. Maybe we can beat them, though. We'll see. We can beat Texas. We can beat Texas Tech. It's going to be tough, though. TCU's going to be tough. Could start out 0-2. That'd be... Because TCU's going to have some talent. Because you look at this, yeah, it's going to be tough. But that's for the next video. All right, let's go to recruiting. Let's see if anybody likes a pitch out of the gate. He doesn't like anything, period, that Arizona kid. So he didn't like that one, which means he's not going to like any other pitch we're going to throw at him. No greens anywhere, but that's not a bad thing. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a lot of guys that are kind of high. What's the most important? Like, here's 424 guy. Kid out of Oklahoma likes us a whole lot. He doesn't. Let's put 20 on him. 285, 415. I like to have him have a little bit more strength, but that's still pretty good, though. I mean, it's around 300 and 500. Or 300, 400. So that's pretty good. This guy's really high, and he's the really strong guy. Close to 400, 600. Let's put 20 on him. Pure B-back. Right guard. Yes and yes. He's the humongous one. We got to have him. Defensive tackle. Absolutely. We got to have him. He's the small one, but he likes us, so we're high on his guys list, too. 455, 605. Let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to take him off for now. I'd rather go after this one instead. Tight end or halfback. This guy's more important than the tight end for our offense. Gives us another B-back. Really strong. He's really short. I like it. He's 5'6". Built like a truck, though. I think that's going to be our 5 guys. I don't want to really go any more farther than that. Here are 2 guys that we could have went after, but I got depth at A-back. I really do. 425 would be great, but he won't play for like 2 more years at least. Outside linebacker, I could go after him, but I got depth there technically. I don't really need him, to be honest. These guys seem to really want to come. Some offensive guys. Defensive tackle we really needed. We're number 3 on his list. Hopefully we can snag him. And he was the stronger of the 2. And this other B-back. So I really like it. Scott Hall, Justin Gant, Travis Moses. Really excited about that kid. J.R. Osborne, another B-back. And a big, strong wide receiver in Greg Ellis. All right, I like it. Good deal. All right, come on back. We'll take on Texas Tech and get Season 2 rolling. I'll talk to you later.